Good early afternoon. Hey, you guys. I'm Andy Andrews. You have joined us on the Blue Plate Special. Yeah, get a little Mountain Dew going through that bloodstream. Well, the coffee is cold. I didn't want to mix the Mountain Dew in the coffee, even though the caffeine surprise would be wonderful. If you're joining us here on the Blue Plate Special from Wisdom Harbor Studios, live from Orange Beach, Alabama, at the Wharf, home of the incredible escalator statues. We have there are Marlin statues here, but they also have escalator statues that if you visit us, you must get your picture taken on the escalator statues. They are absolutely unbelievable. Life-size, they look just like escalators. You can stand on them and everything. But there's the most lifelike escalator statues, personally, that I have ever seen. If you're with us on Facebook, please click that notification button and turn on the notifications on your phone so that you will be notified every time we go live on the Blue Plate Special. And also, would you share us? We have a very special show today, I think. I hope. I'm not going to embarrass you, but I think it's going to be pretty fun. So if you don't mind, I texted a couple of my buddies just to see if anybody would get online with me. And so far, I've only heard from Suzette and Sonny Brownlee, which I appreciate Suzette and Sonny Brownlee, but nobody else said they would join me, but we'll see. Hey, Cindy Bowling from Hastings, Nebraska. How are you doing? And Mwaza Mose, who's tuned in from Uganda. All right, you can't wait? Me either. We'll see what's going to happen. Let's see. Also want to thank the people who are the Twitter fans who are coming in from all parts of the world, surrounding Brian Backen, the Twitter king, and I welcome you. Also, the people from YouTube. If you haven't subscribed on our YouTube channel, go to YouTube sometime and get one of the videos going and just click the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything, and it'll help us. If you'd like to help us, we need your help. So, Chet Calhoun, all the way from Windy, Dallas. Heather from Utah. How are you doing? I wonder if Gary from Utah is on. Gary tried to trade me something, and I'm wondering now if I should have gone with Gary's offer, because I'll tell you in a minute. Johnny Hall from North Carolina, George Gregory. Hey, those of you on Instagram, glad you're here. Elaine Reyes Horcourt, watching from Warner Robins, Georgia. And Lacey from Northern Idaho. I wonder how cold it is in Northern Idaho. You know, Austin was in Northern Idaho just a little bit ago, a couple of months ago, and actually hunted in temperature that was minus 19. That's just insane. It's just insane. He said that one of the ladies that was hunting with him spilled some coffee on her jacket. Now think about this. Coffee. She spilled her hot coffee on her jacket, and before she could wipe it off, it froze. Okay, and so you're going to go out there and be in that. Not me. Hello from sunny, chilly Northeast Mississippi. I've been enjoying Just Jones Java. Isn't that Just Jones Java, Margaret? Isn't that Just Jones Java? I'm still amazed. Because I've never been really a coffee person, but then Jones offered it to me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, drink it. And then after he left, I get this coffee, and I'm like, I think I like this. Because for a long time, I would smell it, and I would think, maybe I just like the smell. You know, there was a long time, Bob Woodall. How are you doing, buddy? How are you doing? Bob Woodall, I got something to tell you. in just a minute. Anyway, For a long time, I would drink coffee when I wrote. When I was writing The Lost Choice, when I wrote The Lost Choice, I was drinking 8 to 10 coffee cups or cups of coffee a day. And somewhere along the line, I think, Starbucks came in there and I just didn't like it. It became very bitter or something. Who's going to be in Orange Beach this weekend? David Jesse going to be in Orange Beach? Yeah, check out these escalator statues. It's incredible. The detail put into these things. I'm blown away. Nadine Sanders Roberts, how are you doing? And Leona from Montana. Deanna Gilbert from Wisconsin. Take off to the Great White North. Yep. Lee Carroll Poe from Arkansas. Oh, congratulations to you guys. I know you just got electricity. Gordon Moat is here. Gordon, dude, I'm so glad you are here. Gordon and I just talked. How long did we talk? Matt, how long did we talk?
At least an hour.
Well, we did an hour because I was on Gordon. Gordon's got a brand new podcast. And so we recorded the podcast today. But we talked for a long time beforehand, and then we talked a long time afterward because Gordon, I love Gordon. Mm-hmm. And Gordon is like, I could talk to Gordon forever. And so we just kind of kept talking. Yvonne Steinvard, hello from South Africa. Wow. Okay. We got that continent represented today. We got Uganda and South Africa. Gene McDonald, how are you doing? Gene, when are you coming? When are you coming here? Because I want you on this show. Gene McDonald. Golly. Look up Gene McDonald on YouTube sometime and just be blown away. So, Leslie from Seattle. Let's see, Bob Woodall. I was going to tell you this. All right, you guys can listen when I tell Bob Woodall this, but Bob and I grew up together in Dothan, Alabama. And we were baptized at the same time. I went to see Bob in the hospital when he shot his toe off. We had birthday parties together, just all kind of things that Bob Woodall and I did together. Of course, now he is the famous air conditioning czar, call Bob. And he's sitting on top of this vast air conditioning estate there in the Wiregrass. And but Bob and I are both Alabama fans. And Bob, guess who I talked to the other night? I've never in my life talked to him before, but I was in the first time I went into the Alabama locker room working with them. I took the boys over to his locker, and I said, "Look at this. His name's still on it." Because if somebody used that locker, their name stays on that locker forever in the Alabama dressing room, and it was number 22. And I told the boys then, I said, this is my favorite football player of all time. Not my favorite Alabama player, my favorite football player of all time. Of all time. And, of course, Tony Nathan's had that number, 22. Mark Ingram won the Heisman with that number. Najee Harris, best running back in America this year, had that number. But, I think they all were only good because they wore the number of the man. My favorite football player of all time. I mentioned The Lost Choice just a few minutes ago, Bob. When I wrote The Lost Choice, now, Bob, that when I write almost any book, if you got to put a name in it, you got to put a number in it, I'm like, you got to put a place in it. I'm going to put something in that's kind of an inside joke for my friends. You can go through any of my books, and you can find some reference to Mayberry or the Andy Griffith Show or something in just like every single book. And Andy Griffith fans catch them. But to anybody else, it's just, it's just there. And so it doesn't hurt anything, but it entertains me. And I am easily bored, as you know. So So when I was writing The Lost Choice, and I come home one night and I'm reading a part of it that I had written to Polly. And so the old woman, there's the newspaper person and the police person, and they're married and they're trying to track down this thing. And so they go to visit this woman who they've seen in the newspaper. This is in the book, in The Lost Choice. And she's 104 years old. Well, and they're going to see her. She lives in Fordyce, Arkansas, and she lives at 1022 something Lane. I can't remember what I wrote now. But when Polly read that part that night, she said, "Okay, why'd you put in Arkansas? Why'd you put in Fordyce?" And I said, "Because that's where Bear Bryant was born." So I was honoring Fordyce, Arkansas. And she said, "Okay, why did you use 1022? Why did you pick those numbers?" I said, "Because it was my two favorite Alabama football players and my favorite football player of all time. Number 10, Stedman Shealy, and number 22, the guy I talked to the other night, Bob. I'm at a dinner party, and I mentioned this guy's name because he is my favorite football player of all time." And somebody says, "Well, Jerry played for Bear Bryant, and he was on the team with him." I was like, "Really?" And I couldn't believe it. I said, "Oh yeah. Alabama beat Auburn that year, 31-7, and I knew all the stats, because I was like 10 years old, and it was just, and I was just amazed. So there's a lot of people at the table, and so Jerry Leachman is down there at the end of the table, and Polly's over there sitting next to Jerry, and there's Jim McQuaig sitting here, and Mike sitting over here, I'm just, but I notice that Jerry is on the phone. We're at the dinner table in a restaurant, a nice restaurant, and he's on the phone, and I thought at the time, my wife would kill me if I was on the phone talking to somebody at the table with people and say, "My wife would kill me. I am doing very good because I am not on the phone." And I was very proud of myself, and I was kind of embarrassed for this guy down here because, but my wife couldn't kill him because she's not married to him. And so there in a minute, he says, "Hey, Andy, I got Johnny Musso on the phone, and he wants to talk to you." My blood ran cold. Bob Woodall, my blood ran cold. Bob Woodall, I talked to Johnny Musso. I'm just telling you. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just telling you. But I got on the phone and I said, "Mr. Musso?" And he said, "Mr. Musso. You're calling me Mr. Musso, huh? How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 61. He said, "Okay, I get it. I'm 70. I'm like 10 years older than you, and I called Leroy Jordan Mr. Jordan for years. So Bob, I talked to Johnny Musso. It was very nice. Yeah, we talked about just a lot of stuff we had in common. We didn't talk about you, but we talked about a lot of stuff. But Johnny is like 70 years old, 71. He said he was 10 years older than me. So I'm 61, so I'm assuming he was 71. And but I talked to him, just about Alabama, Bear, just things we had in common. I talked to Johnny Musso. I couldn't believe it. It was very cool. Okay, so somebody wants to know what the giant fish is behind me to my left. Is it my left? Is it over here? Yeah. Yeah, that is Adam Andrews, my son, with a 12-foot, 3-inch tiger shark that they're tagging and releasing him. He's releasing him right now, or in the picture. And so, but that's what they do. Gulf Coast Nation. If you go to Gulf Coast Nation on YouTube, that's where they post their videos every Tuesday. And I'll just tell you, the next one they post, it's going to be a surprise. Just look at the last one they posted, which leads up to this next one. And Polly says that they have, that Adam has increased her prayer life. And I understand that. But Gulf Coast Nation, they take people fishing on the beach for sharks. Nobody gets sick. Fish on the beach. Land monsters. Take a picture, tag them, release them. People come up to Adam all the time and go, are y'all chumming for sharks? He says, no, ma'am. They're already there. People go, how do you know there are sharks in the water? And Adam says, well, you take a cup and go out and you dip it into the water. And you stick your finger in the water and you taste it. And if it's salty, there are sharks in it. Which is true. Speaking of sharks, this is a book I'm reading right now. This is called Out of the Depths. This is a true story of a man, it was July 30th in 1945 when the USS Indianapolis was sunk. And all these guys went into the water, the Indianapolis. And I'm trying to, let me see how many guys went into the water. But it's a famous story, but this is written by Mr. Edgar Harrell, who was a Marine, and he was there. And so shortly after midnight on July 30th, 1945, just is the weeks before the end of World War II, Japanese torpedoed the USS Indianapolis. And in less than 15 minutes, this battleship went down without a trace. 900 of the ship's crew, 900 of them, were suddenly alone in the Philippine Sea. And they floated for 5 days being eaten by sharks. And when they were finally spotted and rescued, out of the 900, only 317 were still alive. And so this is their story. So I'm reading this, and Edgar Harrell lives in Kentucky and is still alive. I'm going to try to get in touch with him, see if Jamie Futrell can get us up with him. I would love to have him as a guest on a podcast. Wouldn't that be incredible? Have you seen this week's podcast with Gloria Gaither? If you haven't seen the Gloria Gaither podcast, you need to watch it. Oh, no, wait. That was last week, wasn't it? Because this week is Dominique Henderson. Oh, have you seen Dominique? Dominique Henderson is awesome. He's a financial planner that I met several years ago in Dallas and just clicked with him. I just really, really like him. And so this week's Dominique. Last week was Gloria Gaither. Do you like my shirt, by the way? I'm just trying to think, do you like my shirt? This shirt is a Southern Marsh shirt. It is from, I can't believe I can't think of the name right
now. Sand Dollar.
Sand Dollar Lifestyles. What am I thinking about? Sand Dollar Lifestyles, the biggest store down here at the wharf. And so Sand Dollar Lifestyles, can you show the back of this shirt? I love this. I think this is so cool, the back of this shirt. So anyway, all right. And I got to tell you, I'm in kind of a mess here, and I'm just going to tell you, I don't know what to do about this, but I'm in a mess here because, as you know, I started at the first of the year with a safety pin, and with the safety pin, and I traded it between Blue Plate Specials. I traded it for 5 acorns to a guy I met in a Walmart. And no, I traded with a kid for the acorns. I traded the acorns to a guy I met in Walmart for 3/4 of a bottle. I got to keep this straight. 3/4 of a bottle of buck urine, of deer urine. And when you can get 3/4 of a bottle of urine, you'll trade almost anything for it. But so I had the buck urine, and so then last week. Jimmy Yeary and Jimmy Yeary is the songwriter. You know Jimmy Yeary. He wrote Cold Beer Conversations. He wrote I Drive Your Truck, the song of the year for CMA and ACM. Jimmy, he wrote Kenny Chesney's last 2 number ones. He wrote Rascal Flatts last number 1. He had a bluegrass song that he wrote that went number 1 for 3 weeks in a row, then went to number 2, then back to number 1. But Jimmy Yeary, big deal songwriter. And so he was hunting with us, and his son, Aiden, got his first buck. And I told Aiden, I said, I'm putting a little buck ear in here on this leaf here for you, buddy. Just give you a little success here, a little help. And so he did. He got his first buck. And he was very proud. I was very proud for him. Jimmy was out of his mind, just out of his mind. Aiden, first buck. And, I told Jimmy, I said, well, if you were Jewish and you lived in New Jersey, to be a man, he'd have to be bar mitzvahed. But, now you live down here, so you come to Alabama, kill a buck, and get a little blood smeared on your face. You're a man. So, anyway, Jimmy was doing something. So I was talking to Aiden, and I said, hey, buddy, how about that buck you're in, huh? He said, it was the best. I said, yeah, it really worked. I said, I've got about a half a bottle left of this stuff. I said, are you doing anything with that shell? Because he was playing with the shell that he had shot from the rifle, right? It was just his empty shell. And he's a kid. He didn't know anything, so his dad's not around, so let's see if I can get the shell. It's a big deal memory piece, but if I can get it, I got something over on Jimmy. So I said, Aiden, you don't want that, do you? He said, I don't know. I said, well, how would you like to get a bunch more deer? Because I have the urine here, my friend. He said, yeah. I said, well, I'll trade you my half bottle of buck urine. Susan Young says, how do you get buck urine? You buy it, Susan. This is code blue. This is real stuff. Real buck urine from a single buck. And you say, but how do they get it? I don't know. I don't mess with the details. I don't know. But I know that the instructions on the back of the package come in French. So they are evidently importing this stuff to France. So, with the trade deals, we get croissants, they get buck urine. Who knew? So I say to Aiden, this little kid, I say, hey, you don't want that shell. He said, I don't. I said, nah, he already shot it. You can't do anything with it. But this buck urine, you can get a bunch more bucks with it. I'll trade you this. And then I'll take that shell off your hands. He said, okay. So he did. And I had the shell of the kid's first deer. So his daddy finds out. Jimmy finds out. Jimmy comes, hey, do you have Aiden's shell from the first deer he got? And I said, yeah, I do. He said, can I have it? I said, no. He said, can't have it? I said, Jimmy, it's mine. I traded it, fair and square. Your kid shook hands on it. I took, I gave him a half a bottle of buck urine for it. Jimmy said, it's his first. It's the shell from the first deer. I was going to have it framed with the deer getting mounted. And I said, yeah, that would have been nice, wouldn't it? That would have been really nice. Yeah, I can just imagine that. That would have been nice. Too bad you don't own it. He said, what are you up to? I said, me? I'm not up to anything. But I will trade you. I traded Aiden for it. So I'll trade you. I said, I noticed when you pulled out your guitar the other day. Now, see, Jimmy wrote the song, I Called Mama. I Called Mama. That Tim McGraw did. And it was Tim McGraw's biggest song of his entire career. Went to number 1 faster than any song he's ever had. And Jimmy wrote it. And so I see just like papers come out of Jimmy's guitar box, and I see this, and it's notes when he was writing. I call him. It says, "Got a call from a buddy about a friend," and it has "buddy" crossed out and his friend, and that's the first line of the song. Got a call from a friend about a friend. It says, "With some bad news no one ever wants to hear," and they knocked out bad. So now it says, "Got a call from a friend about a friend with some news no one ever wants to hear." And so, it's all notes. So I stopped off at a Texaco, bought a Slim Jim and a Coke, parked out by the water just to watch that river flow. I thought of home. And then down here it says, "Grabbed a phone," and then he added from my pocket. Grabbed the guitar from the back seat. Wrote a song just for me. I sung it for the blue skies and some live oak trees. I thought of home, or I grabbed the phone from my pocket, thought of home, and I called Mama. So I said, "Yeah, you can have the shelf, but I want those notes." He said, "My song notes?" I said, "Yeah, what are you going to do with them? You already wrote the song. I'm not asking for the check. I'm just asking for the paper, the song. Just the notes. I didn't ask for just the notes." Okay, so I've got it. Well, I've been trying to trade it, but I'm getting kind of iffy. When I mentioned that I had it the other day, I'm getting some kind of iffy offers. My buddy from Salt Lake. He was a good offer. It was some drumsticks, but I was like, I think I'm gonna wait on this. Well, now I end up with the show, and I don't have it traded yet, but I've got a call because here's what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to figure out how to get, I want to get something good for this, and I've got somebody that I know would like this. By the way, it is Dorothy Melvin's birthday. How about that? Dorothy Melvin was Joan Rivers' road manager, was just my buddy years ago when I toured for 2 years with Joan. Happy birthday, Dorothy. What are you, 20 what? 20 what? I love Dorothy. Someday I'll tell you about Dorothy and her story of going to Cher's garage sale. But for right now, Cam and John own the Flora-Bama. And Flora-Bama is this world-famous place. And it's right on the line, right on the Florida-Alabama line. It's literally world famous. And so I am going to call Cam. Cam's kind of that business guy, And so I think I'm going to call Cam and see what I can do and see if I can get, because they have all kind of memorabilia up. All right, call, yes. Voice call, put on speaker, yes. So I'm going to call and see if I can make a trade with Cam.
Eddie.
Cam, hey buddy, how are you?
Buddy.
Hey, listen, I'm live on the air right here on the Blue Plate Special, so don't cuss or anything like that, or don't say anything mean to me.
You want me to talk different than I normally do?
Yeah. Just don't be mean to me in front of my friends. Okay. So hey, listen here. I'll only take a minute, but I got a deal for you, Cam. I've got something that I think that the Flora-Bama needs.
Man, I love it when you call me with a deal.
Yeah, I've. Do you know who Jimmy Yeary is? The songwriter. He's wrote "I Drive Your Truck." Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah. I Drive Your Truck was Song of the Year, CMA, ACM. A couple of Rascal Flatts #1s, a couple of Kenny Chesney #1s. Well, he wrote the recent song that went #1 is called "I Called Mama" with Tim McGraw.
Right.
And it's Tim McGraw's biggest song ever. Well, I was just with Jimmy, and I'm doing a trading thing. on the show. We're trading throughout the year. And I started off with kind of a nothing thing. It was a safety pin, but I would manage to trade it for something that I thought was pretty cool. And I'm trading up is what I'm doing. And so I kind of got, Jimmy was hunting with his son, Aiden, and Aiden got his first deer. And so while Jimmy was out of the room, now I'm going to just tell you, I know you're going to think this is awesome, but I had some buck urine, okay? I had some buck urine. It was code blue. You know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, good smelling stuff. Code blue, buck urine. And I traded the kid, because the kid, he didn't know what he had. He just had a little, he had his empty shell he's playing with. And I said, hey, you don't want that anymore, do you? And he said, I don't know. And I said, well, you already shot it. It's not worth anything. But I got a half a bottle of buck urine here. And, you get some more bucks with this. He said, yeah, I guess. So I traded him. Well, then Jimmy comes in later. And Jimmy goes, do you have Aiden's shell from his first year? I said, yeah, I do. He said, can I have it? I said, no, I made a fair trade, and no. He said, I was going to mount this. I was going to frame it and put it with the deer mount. And I said, yeah, well, that would have been a good idea, but unfortunately, I own it. And he said, are you serious? I said, well, Jimmy, I did see you open your guitar case, and I saw some notes in there from I Called Mama. And so I have the notes. I traded him. It was an extortion, I know, but I did trade him. And so I have the notes, and I said, you have to sign it with a Sharpie. But the notes, it's got a call from a friend about a friend. It was some news.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's got, so it's all these notes, and you definitely know who it is. But anyway, I've got to trade this, and I think that you could put a Tim McGraw picture, the album, Jimmy's picture with these notes, the notes from the #1 song, and put it up in the Flora-Bama. Wouldn't that be?
It belongs in the Flora-Bama.
Yeah, but see, I need to trade you something. I think you need this.
This is the catch.
Yeah, I think you need this, but I need something, Cam.
Well, we're world famous Flora-Bama. I mean, we've got the best bushwhacker in the world. What about an ice cold bushwhacker?
Dude, if I wanted to buy one of your bushwhackers, I'd just go. I mean, how much are your bushwhackers?
$750.
And they're worth it. They are incredible. But maybe a year's supply of bushwhackers. But Cam, come on, dude, you can.
If you can drink a year's supply of bushwhackers, Andy.
Yeah, well,
you might get in trouble.
Yeah, you're right. But this is worth a lot, man. This is incredible. This is a #1 song. This is not just an old bushwhacker song.
Here's what I got for you. What about a annual membership to the Flora-Bama, which is good for all kinds of stuff. You get discounts at the liquor store. You get free entry to the Flora-Bama. You get a free drink every Thursday night. Man, it's awesome. And on top of that, and this can be. Are you gonna trade this, or you keep this?
No, I'm going to trade it. I'm going to have to trade it because I've got to trade all year long. So now I'm wishing I could keep it.
Here's something else I'll throw in with that annual membership. Sweeten the pot. How about a full-day pontoon boat rental?
Are you serious? All right.
A full-day pontoon boat rental, and I'll throw in 2 membership cards for a 2021 membership.
2 year-long membership cards, free entry to the Flora-Bama. Seriously? Okay. Well, and this is, that's pretty good, I guess. Because of what I have. Okay. All right. That's that deal. All right. We're shaking hands over the phone. I'm shaking my hand. You shaking yours?
That sounds good.
All right. So I'm going to have Austin bring this out to you this afternoon. So we're going to do this. Okay.
Yep. We're in.
All right, buddy. Hey, man. Thank you. And I'll see you at church. And we go to church at the Flora-Bama, just to let you know.
Sounds good, Andy.
Very excited. Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thanks for reaching out, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye. Are you kidding me?
That's a lot.
Are you kidding me? I was fixing to up him to like 10 bushwhackers.
Man, that's a good trade.
But, well, that is like a world famous place. I mean, they're in a John Grisham novel. They're in a Jimmy Buffett song. They're in USA Today twice or three times a year. Wait, did you write that down? Write that down, what we got.
I got it.
2 memberships?
Two. You were saying one, and then I don't know if he got confused or forgot, but he said
confused,
2.
But we got him on tape.
We got him.
What? How? Marcy says, how are you going to trade up now? I want to keep it. So what I want to do on a pontoon boat rental.
I
allowed to
think
cancel?
we trade the memberships and we keep the pontoon boat rental.
Wow. I kind of want to cancel the whole trading thing and just keep it. What do you think? This is cool. Oh my God. I mean, if I had ended the year with this, I would have thought this is good.
Mm-hmm.
The safety pin for 2 year-long memberships. 2? Well, I guess I'm just a pretty good salesman because this is going to be good. I feel like I kind of felt like I ripped off. Aiden a little bit.
Learning experience.
It's leverage.
Yeah, life lesson.
Leverage against his dad, and now I feel like that But I don't know. No, this is great because they have Jimi Hendrix's guitar. They have Willie Nelson's hair, whatever. They've got all kind of stuff in the Flora-Bama. And that place is world famous, and so they'll make great use of this. This will be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tempted to frame it for him, but I'm not going to. It wasn't part of the deal. I'm a pretty good trader. So anyway, wow. What do you think? Okay, you guys. Hey, I think we shook on it, right? Steve Johnson, we shook on it. Bob Woodall, what do you think? Johnny Musso, and 2. Bob Woodall, you might be in the market for these memberships and the pontoon boat thing. So anyway, Michelle Crumis says, so what is this place again so I can Google it? It is the world famous Flora-Bama, Flora-Bama. Lay it on the line at the Flora-Bama. It's right on the Florida-Alabama line. And, it's a big deal. It really is a big deal. Like I said, it's in a Jimmy Buffett song. It's in a John Grisham book. And, they do the mullet toss there every year. And on mullet toss weekend, which a mullet is a fish. And so they have a tournament to throw the fish from one state to another state. And the longest throw, they have all the different categories. And and now you're going to think I'm nuts. I ought to see if you can Google a picture of the Kenny Chesney concert. When Kenny Chesney, they took a picture from the air of when Kenny Chesney was at the Flora-Bama. See if you can Google a picture and show everybody that. But at a mullet toss weekend, they'll have 20,000 people there. 20,000 people. And so for years, Kenny Stabler, the Hall of Fame NFL quarterback, lived down the street here. And Kenny would come over to throw out the first mullet of mullet toss weekend. So have you got that picture? You found that?
I think I just found it. I'm pulling it into the broadcast.
Yeah. Tell me when you got it up. But Polly and Adam went over to hear Riley Green over there recently. And you go over there. I mean, it's like they've got different. It looks. I mean, I don't.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready? All right, show it. This is what it looked like when Kenny Chesney was there. You see the boats, see the people. But this place is unbelievable. They have mullet toss weekend. They have all different kind of things. And we actually have a church service over there, 2 services every Sunday. And Easter a couple of years ago, we had 6,000 people at church. So, anyway, unbelievable. So, you guys, we're going to have to top this, but we'll see you next week. We'll be here Tuesday and Thursday next week, and I'm excited about this. You guys? Okay, good. Have a good weekend. Love you. Bye-bye.